Did you know these interesting facts about Hummer? Hummer history is one of the most interesting ones in the automotive industry. It tells us that the Hummer was originally introduced as a war vehicle for the US military. In 1989, the SUV started off as a combat vehicle in the US invasion of Panama. The four-wheel vehicle was a powerful war beast that later became popular on the American streets and introduced a civilian version. Let us explore some more fun facts about Hummer. 10 fun facts about Hummer. From battlefields to urban streets, Hummer was an extremely popular vehicle. Following are some interesting facts about Hummer. 1. Hummer was AM General's winning design. As Hummer history has it, the powerful, multi-purpose SUV was among 3 prototypes considered by the High Military Combat Vehicle Program. The 3 participating companies were AM General, Chrysler Defender, and Teledyne Continental. From these companies, AM General's 6.2 liters V8 Hummer paired with a 3-speed automatic transmission was a winning design. In 1983, AM General won a contract to produce the initial batch. Earlier, by the end of the 1980s, AM General had already produced tens of thousands of Hummers. The massive vehicles, popularly known as Humvees, were designed to transport cargo and troops. 2. The term Hummer is an abbreviation. A fun fact about Hummer is that the term is an abbreviation for Humvee or HMMWV, which stands for High Mobility Multipurpose Wheeled Vehicle. Before the civilian version hit the roads, Hummer was a military-grade vehicle used to combat wars. The term explains it. 3. Arnold Schwarzenegger was the first owner of a civilian Hummer. The action movie star Arnold Schwarzenegger was a huge Hummer fan. He wanted one for himself and petitioned AM General to build a civilian version. By 1992, Schwarzenegger had the first civilian version of the M988 Humvee in his garage. Hummer also embossed Terminator on the action hero's SUV. 4. Hummer H1, H2 and H3. Among other things to know about Hummer, one must understand the difference between its versions. The Hummer H1 is the civilian version of the Humvee. It has a boxy design. It is wide and it has high ground clearance. Hummer H1 makes use of a turbo engine churning out 300 horsepower and 520 pounds-to-foot torque. Next, the Hummer H2 is a full-size SUV. It has a slightly higher horsepower of 393 but the torque is just 452 pounds-to-foot. Both these vehicles make a military-grade statement. Finally, H3 is a mid-size SUV and the smallest model in the Hummer lineup. Both H1 and H2 were developed by AM General but H3 was developed by General Motors. Among the 3 versions, Hummer H3 is the most fuel-efficient one. 5. Hummer is a strong off-road vehicle. Another important fact about Hummer is that it's an off-road beast of a vehicle. It has great ground clearance. Unlike traditional 4x4s built in the 1980s, the Humvee had an independent front and rear suspension. The big vehicle stood on 37-inch tires, giving the Humvee 16 inches of ground clearance. That was almost double the size of other 4x4s at the time. Moreover, the drivetrain tucks up high in the chassis, making the Hummer as wide as an 18-wheeler. The wider stance helps keep the center of gravity low and provides extra stability off-road. 6. Unique traction control and central tire inflation system. A unique traction control system called Torque Track 4 used in Hummers protects the tires from spinning. Torque Track 4 traction control system applies brakes to the spinning wheel automatically. This forces traction on other wheels that are not spinning. The traction control system makes Hummer easier to drive on and off the road. As for the tire inflation system, Many off-roaders let some air out of their tires to increase traction in loose, rocky or sandy terrain. This helps tires prevent obstacles or float over loose surfaces like snow and sand. Thanks to Humvee's central tire inflation system, the driver can release air pressure and individually set tire pressure for off-roading. Later, they can air up the tires from the comfort of the cabin with a press of a button, an option available on the SUV's leather interior. 7. Some Hummer models have dual fuel tanks. The size of these tanks varies depending on the model, but it works best for people who take long road trips, thanks to the second tank that holds in some extra fuel. 8. Shorter than some vehicles. Another fact about a Hummer is that although the SUV is extremely powerful, it is actually shorter in length when compared with a Toyota Camry. In fact, a Hummer is also shorter in length than Altima and Malibu. Due to its short length, however, parking a Hummer is easier than parking longer SUVs. 9. Hummers are showstoppers. A fun fact about Hummer vehicles is that they are showstoppers. A Hummer on the road will turn a lot of heads. The tough look and style of Hummer vehicles are what made it popular among the general audience. Apart from Schwarzenegger, celebrities from Mike Tyson to Britney Spears own one. 10. Hummer is all set to make a comeback. The production of Hummer vehicles came to a halt in 2009, owing to General Motors' bankruptcy. The Hummer was also losing its popularity because of its low fuel economy. Furthermore, GM received criticism from various environmental groups. However, the Hummer is all set to make its comeback in 2022. This time it will be introduced as an electric truck and SUV. The Hummer EV is expected to have remarkable powertrain options, removable air panels, adjustable air suspension and a four-wheel steering feature, making the vehicle fun for off-roading.